Welcome to Retro Logic. I am Dan Caparello, and here with me today is John Cummins. This week we've got no special guests, just the two of us, talking about some Pokemon Gold and Silver, talking about some Mario Kart Double Dash, talking about Dreamcast, and that's the intro. That is the intro, John. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. It's
good.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful? What's beautiful?
Oh, just the weather, and finally have a sink in my house. I just had countertops put in, and I had zero sinks for about 3 days. Until I could get my plumbing done on my new sinks.
So you were not washing any hands for 3 days?
I had bathtub.
You
put your soap over by the bathtub and use the bathtub.
I mean, what is the bathtub but a gigantic sink for your body, really?
Yeah, so it's just no different than you like giving your dog a bath in the sink. It's a bathtub for dogs.
Yeah, totes. Yeah, it's just awesome, great. Well, yeah, welcome to Sink Logic, where we talk about sinks and not much else. Yeah, a little bit of a slow week today. Bathroom Logic. That sounds like a something. I don't know. Whatever. It's a bit of a slow week here in Retro Land, which can happen from time to time because there's not, it's all of our news is old news. So sometimes there's just not stuff to talk about. But that's okay. We got lots of games we've been playing, and we're going to talk some Dreamcast, which I'm hype about. So first, John, let's jump into this week in gaming history. And there's only one, well, technically two, here to talk about. Why don't you tell us what it is? Because you're the one who has played this game.
Yeah, that's right. We already talked about this a little bit, but Pokemon Gold and Silver came out 20 years ago tomorrow. So this was a game that I was super stoked about because I had already played Blue for at least a year and a half or 2 years. It's been 2 years, 98, right? So, and then I picked up Yellow, played through Yellow, and I was gung-ho for Pokemon at that time. And Pokemon Gold and Silver was just an amazing, just super vast. And it just blew my mind that, once you beat that game, it basically opens up the whole first region from the first couple of games. You could play all the way through it again, too. And you said you didn't play this one at all.
I've never played Gold or Silver. I didn't even play Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I probably started it once or twice and just got pulled away. I own it. And once I beat my current run through of Blue on original hardware, I'm going to run into and try to get through a Silver. And the reason but I'm afraid because those games going back fresh are a little obtuse. Like they don't always give you a super clear direction of like where to go next. They just kind of throw you in the world a little bit. So part of me is thinking like maybe I'll do like a walkthrough, just to like know where I'm going next, or I'll just look it up when I get lost, because I don't love doing that, and I don't have to do that with most of the games I play, because like with like Pokemon Blue, I know that game frontwards and backwards, so there's no need to look anything up. But Silver's going to be a new territory for me, and it'll be kind of fun. It'll be fun to talk about it on the show when I finally jump into it and kind of give my impressions 20 years later before never playing it before, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you'll have to make sure your save battery works if you're playing on original equipment.
It does. Yeah, I already checked that. It has a save file on it. But I have a guy.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a local guy that'll change the battery out for me if I need to for pretty cheap.
Nice, so. That's handy. I was going to say these games are also on 3DS, so don't forget about that if you want to play it on a newer. And they're like $10. I mean, it's dirt cheap for a full Pokemon game.
That's a steal.
It is,
and I may do that maybe.
It's
but there is something very endearing to me about holding a Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah.
Period. That's the tweet.
Yeah,
It's just endearing and nostalgic, and you know, it just feels right. The D-pad is right. You know, there's no backlight, sure, but like there's easy ways around that, and there's just something about it. It just is my nostalgic handheld is the Game Boy Pocket. So many hours.
You'll have to pick you up a worm light on eBay.
Yeah, one of those, or one of those like giant monstrosity, like turn your Game Boy into a game man, like with a friggin' magnifying glass and speakers on it.
Yeah, I had one of those for the brick for the original Game Boy.
Ridiculous.
It just clipped onto the top, had the lights, and
yeah, you like couldn't even hold it. You had to put it on a table to play it.
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
The original Game Boy too. I mean, I always played with the AC adapter. Or I guess at that time it was a DC adapter, I think. Because my parents were like, we've already bought enough batteries. You've already ate through churned through too many batteries. So eventually I just got a plug, and I would just sit. I had it plug up by my bed with a lamp. I'd play it. But yeah, Gold and Silver.
That's funny.
Gold and Silver were really pushing things at the time for Pokemon. I mean, they added a lot of. I mean, they added, I think, 100 more Pokemon.
100 more Pokemon. First game that had like a real time clock.
Yeah, day and night. They added breeding, I believe.
Yeah, was that when they added Steel type? Is Steelix so. Pokemon Gold Silver?
I think Steel and Dark came at the same time. Now you're making me think. I mean, it was only 20 years ago.
Yeah, Gen 2. Gen 2, they added Steel type.
Yep. Yeah, and I know they added Dark too, because you could get Umbreon.
Yep, also Gen 2. Yep, Umbreon and Espeon.
Yep, the Psychic.
Yep. They fixed Ghost and Poison, because that was broken as F. And I mean, yeah.
And yeah, they need to fix Bug.
Yeah.
Bug is the
they
worst.
they tried to because Bug was really, really bad for a long time, and then in the more recent games they made it super effective against Fairy and Dragon, I want to say, or Ghost. They like added an ability to it, so they made it like suck a little less.
I just remember the earlier games that you didn't want bug Pokemon. They were always bad.
No. And that's funny, because in my blue playthrough, I had a Butterfree on my team for like a long time, for like way longer than they had any right to be. And the more I'd had it, I was like, man, I really should catch something to replace this, because I am not taking a Butterfree into the Elite Four on any planet. There's no freaking way.
Yeah, Butterfree, you get it to level, get it to where it'll evolve at level 10, I believe, and then you put it in the box. That's what that one's good for. I think Beedrill might even be a little better.
Yeah, I think he is, just like base attack wise. And then after level like 30, it stops learning moves. It's just not a good Pokemon.
Yeah, they're bad.
I want to say 30 or 40.
It's pretty early.
Yeah.
But
it would be fun to do on this podcast? We should do like a game, like a book club style thing once. Not like format the whole podcast around it, because other podcasts do that. But we could be like, hey, we're both going to play this game and just kind of talk about it for a segment for a little while. And, y'all can join us.
Yeah, I'm up
Get
for
this
that.
far. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Once we build a little bit of a community, we could put something up for everyone to play, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about some Dreamcast. I don't have the story up in my notes, so I think. What do you remember about what was said about the story?
So it was one of the executives from Sega that was in charge of. Wasn't
it like like a designer or something?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but he was somebody that was in charge of the a lot of the retro stuff that's been going on at Sega here lately, like the Genesis Mini and the Sega Ages line on Switch and a few other things. And he came out and made a statement that they're looking at the Dreamcast to be the next mini console that they put out. And it doesn't say it's coming soon or anything, but they're just saying they're looking at it, which makes sense. I mean, a lot of those games are other places now, so they're a little more readily available. None of them are really stuck on the Dreamcast like the GameCube.
I don't know. There are a lot of games that are stuck on that console too. Yosuke Ona Yosone
I wasn't gonna
Okunari. He's a producer.
A producer, okay, yeah.
And his quote is, his translated quote is, "I think for the next one we may go with a concept close to Genesis Mini. If I have to say some names, it could be SG-1000 Mini or Dreamcast Mini." Nobody wants an SG-1000 Mini. No. What's even on that?
I don't even remember.
Nobody. Nothing.
Well, I mean, we didn't even get that console, right?
No,
that was Japanese only.
Who's gonna? Yeah, we had Master System.
Yep.
After that, so I have just at the top of my head a short list of games that are required to be on this system if it comes out. Without even, I didn't prepare at all for today, by the way. John is the one who put together the notes for tonight. So thank you, John, for covering my butt, because I just did no legwork for this. That being said, you got to have Sonic Adventure, right? I know it's been re-released, but that's a staple of the system.
Yep.
You got to have Space Channel 5. You got to have Choo Choo Rocket. You got to have Power Stone and Power Stone 2, because they're different and they're both great for different reasons.
Yep.
Okay. You got to have Toy Commander. You ever play Toy Commander?
I have not.
Yeah. You got to have Toy Commander. Toy Commander is like a third-person vehicle shooter, multiplayer, arena battler, where essentially you take over the toys in this kid's house, and like all the rooms are different levels. It's amazing. It's so fun. We need Toy Commander. Okay.
What about
we need
Seaman?
Cannon? No, we don't need Seaman. They're not gonna give you the whole microphone deal with a mini console. Let's just put Seaman aside, pretend it never happened. Nobody wants that. Sonic Shuffle. This is the Mario Party for Dreamcast. We gotta have that. We gotta have Cannon Spike, which is kind of like Power Stone. It's like kind of like that arena third-person battler type deal. Everybody's on one screen. Smash Brothers top-down type. Featuring Capcom characters. So there's Mega Man and other characters that I can't think of right now. Anyway, Cannon Spike. Also, that's like a $200 game now. So like, can we get some Cannon Spike at some point, please? You gotta have the Dreamcast version of Revolt, which is amazing because it is the only version of that game. It was also on PlayStation and N64. But it's the only version of that game that had the track builder. It's probably one of the better track builders in any racing game to date. Like, it's so good. It's robust. It's amazing.
That's something crazy to think about, that the Dreamcast, since it did jump the gun and release, real early in between console cycles, that you're getting PlayStation 1 and N64 and the Dreamcast versions of games. Yeah,
exactly.
They did the same thing with Hydro Thunder.
Oh, you got to put Hydro Thunder on there.
Yep.
Oh, it's the best version of Hydro Thunder.
It is. It's so, and good. I have it. And but I would totally buy a mini that had it too.
Now here's a question.
Yeah.
And I have the same question about whether or not Nintendo will ever do an N64 mini. And it has to do with the controllers. So are they going to give you 4 controllers in this box?
No.
Or are they going to do the whole sell a separate controller thing like they did with the NES mini?
I think they give you one and make you buy others.
They give you one?
I bet they give you one.
I think they No, come on.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Is the one that comes with the Mini going to have VMU support? Or they just drop that all together?
Oh man, how would you do that? Well, okay, I'm trying to think of an instance where you need your VMU to like show you some information.
There are a few games that utilize it, other than to just save.
Yeah, but most of that utilization was you take it out of your thing and you use it in whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you take it out of your controller, which you know, they just take that functionality away from the games that use it. Is there an instance of a game that would like be broken if you didn't have the visualization on the VMU while you're playing the game? I can't think of a single one.
I can't think of any either. In fact, whenever I was playing Dreamcast,
Jet Grind Radio, you got to have Jet Grind Radio on there. Sorry, I'm going to be thinking of games as we go, so just bear with me.
I was just saying, I don't remember really using my VMU all that much, you know, outside of saving games and.
Right. No, because the battery that powered the screen lasted for like an hour.
Yeah.
So like, what do you? Yeah. No.
It was a cool concept to just a little before its time.
It was such a cool concept, and like it never went anywhere past the VMU. You know, like there's no like modern equivalent to the VMU.
No.
Now it's all just internal memory. You know, we just don't have memory cards anymore.
Yeah.
But just the idea of it back then was freaking bonkers and awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I had a couple of them. I was trying to think. What about Skies of Arcadia? Does that game go on there?
Yes. Skies of Arcadia. And I'm going to get some flack for this, but Evolution Worlds, which is a highly crapped on RPG. Grandia 2 is going on there.
Crazy Taxi.
You got to get your Phantasy Star with, check it out, Phantasy Star with online support. Phantasy Star Online. You get it, you bring it all back. Dreamcast 2.0 is coming back, baby. I'm hyped for this, dude. I've been eyeing buying a Dreamcast in some games for a while. And like the consoles are fairly well priced. Like, you know, you can pick one up for $60-$70 with a controller. Yeah. But all of the games I want
are over
$100 plus. All of them.
Yep.
They're so expensive. And
well, there wasn't very many of them.
I don't know. Yeah, it did sold like crap.
Well, I was going to say, do you remember how many Dreamcasts were sold?
I don't have the number in my head. Do you?
Yeah, about 9 million. So.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Oh, no, that's really bad. That's the second worst console sales of all time. It's worse than.
You mean like major consoles?
Major consoles.
Yeah.
If you don't want to count the Virtual Boy as a major console, then it's number one. I mean, even the Wii U sold 13 million.
That's true.
But yeah,
I'm just
9 million. I own 2 of them.
Well, all right. There's 2 accounted for,
yep,
but they're not. The console itself is not the expensive part. It's just the games. Like the controllers aren't even that expensive. It's literally like the handful of games that everybody wants already have, and the ones that are still out in the wild are exorbitantly expensive.
Yeah, the controllers are hard to find in decent shape. A lot of times the wires, the wires are kind of rough on them. I found like they're kind of like the N64 controller. That seems like the wire was the weak point, other than the joystick. Like if you get the people that wrap the wire around them, you know, and the wires will give out. They have like a crimp into them, or they're real loose feeling.
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, that's what I said a minute ago. Crazy Taxi needs to be on there.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the lines, majorly. I have a brand new Dreamcast controller in the box. I think I got it at Toys R Us. Yep, Shenmue, but I think it's made its rounds. It's been on lots of other things.
Yeah, but I mean, they're probably still going to throw it in there.
Yeah. Well, and it's also Sega, so.
Virtua frickin' Tennis. Virtua Tennis. Yeah.
Yeah, you almost have to have Sonic Adventure 2 on there also.
Well, yeah, you got to.
Because it was...
You got to.
I mean, you could also get it on the GameCube, but again, still sucked.
It was arguably... Well, sure, but I mean, you know. It was arguably better than the first Sonic Adventure. For a lot of reasons.
I mean, they were just getting their feet wet with 3D Sonic, so...
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure is kind of like Mario 64, but for Sega.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with VMUs. I don't know what they're going to do with selling you controllers. I think they're going to give you 2 controllers. They have to give you 2 controllers because, like, that's almost like half of the games are multiplayer. It's a whole multiplayer thing. It was the only other console at the time to have 4 controller ports. So
you say that, but these are the people that are making you buy 4 Game Gear Minis in order to get to get all the games.
I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Those things are terrible. How are you supposed to get your thumb on that thing?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And they're Japan only, I think, right now anyway. But
yeah, stay that way. Nobody wants it.
Yeah, you only get like 3 or 4 games on each one, and you have to buy all 4 to get the whole thing. It's like $200.
And they're $50 a pop. Yeah, what the heck are they doing?
So
who's buying this?
You think that it makes sense for them to put 2 in there, but again, it doesn't have to make sense when they sell it. They're just going to sell it.
That's really unfortunate.
I hope.
Really, really sad.
I hope for 2, but I won't be shocked when it comes with 1. I mean, I kind of, even with Nintendo, I kind of expect them, if they ever did do a 64 mini, they would only have 1 in it. And they would make you buy the other, because they're not going to package it with 4 controllers.
But I don't know. No, they're not going to package it with 4 controllers. That's overkill. And actually, I think the N64 controller, the N64 mini, is never going to happen. I just feel like there's too many problems, like logistically and like consumer-wise with the N64 mini. Like, the controllers are giant and weird, and okay, what do you do with the thumbstick? Like, do you give it like a more modern feeling thumbstick and then piss off like the core audience who wants the old style thumbstick? Or do you put the old style thumbstick and it breaks, you know?
Well,
like,
how many gloves
there's just
do you
too many,
get?
like, right. Yeah. There you go.
Like, so your palm doesn't wear out while do those come in the box too?
Yeah. Well, they can't put the first Mario Party on the console, can they? Cause that's
gotta have a glove, man.
You know, and then like Rumble Pack, maybe not, like internal memory or memory cards or what, like it's just transfer pack, like just, and like, I just feel like there's too many problems.
So,
you know,
me personally, you'd have to have the original stick.
Right.
I have a Brawler 64, and it has a more traditional style stick, and it works for some things. Like, some things it doesn't bother me on, but there's just some games that you, GoldenEye, does not feel comfortable with that updated stick.
It's just an inauthentic experience, and that's not what I'm about.
Some games, like, I would totally play Ogre Battle with it because it doesn't matter. You're gonna walk around a map, and fighting games, it might not be as big of a deal. But something where you're Mario 64 didn't feel good, not 100%. I mean, it's doable. I mean, heck, I'm playing with a Pro controller right now, so
yeah, right.
But yeah, I definitely would want the original stick.
It just, I don't know how they're gonna. That's a whole nother level of engineering, is to like make it feel right, but also make it way more durable than the original. So I don't know. I just feel like the R&D is not worth it. It is Nintendo's 3rd worst selling console. It's like, you know, give me a Wii Mini. That's what I want. Wii Mini. Done deal. Easy peasy.
So we don't count the Virtual Boy as a real console.
That was a portable.
Was it though?
It
Did
wasn't
you see a lot of people
portable,
carrying them
but
around?
it was a portable. You didn't get the head strap. You could, duct tape it to your head and
Oh, jeez.
walk around
No.
and look all cool.
Yeah, don't do that. I
No,
couldn't even
please
imagine.
All right, man. Let's talk about what we've been buying and what we've been playing.
Sounds good.
I didn't. You go first. You go first this time.
So this was kind of a light week for me as far as buying some things. I bought Monster Hunter Stories on 3DS. When they announced the second game coming to Switch here in the next year, I remembered that I only I think I played the demo, and that's it. So it's something that I remember playing the demo, and I remember enjoying it, but other things were, I can't remember if that was pre-Switch or if that was when the Switch had already come out, but something that I was already playing something else and never went back. So GameStop was having one of their flash sales, and I bought this game for like $12. And then I also in that same sale I bought the Legend of Zelda on GBA, which I don't need the Legend of Zelda on GBA, but I don't have it, so I don't know how many times and places I own that game, but I figured I might as well add another one. It was something that was when you look at their website, there's not a whole lot of things left to buy on there, so it's kind of limited on what I could select out of there that I didn't have already. And as far as playing some games, Mario 35, I talked about this last week and still playing it. It's just brought a whole new life back to that game. It's too much fun. And if it wasn't for the rounds taking so long, I would probably play even more, but a lot of times I find myself trying to play it like on a lunch break or in between something, and I always end up only being able to play one match because they go for almost 20 minutes a lot of times. If you're down to the last person, you and one other person, it could go on forever until the clock.
Yeah.
There's a certain point, and I'm not even 100% sure what triggers it, but at some point the clock turns red and it just starts eating your time down. Like, it's probably burning off like 5 seconds every second. But I don't know what triggers it, because you could be down to 2 players for, I don't know if it's time related. I don't think it's player related. Because there's been several times where I get down to 2 people and it hasn't started yet. And I think there's still been like 3 or 4 of us still left, and it's started happening before. So I think it's just after a certain amount of time. It's kind of their way of saying, hey, you guys have been playing too long, we're going to kick you out. Basically. Yeah, they got to end the round somehow. They got to cycle you back in. I haven't even touched this game yet, man. I literally haven't picked up my Switch in probably 2 weeks. I was playing Hades and I dropped off, and I just have been too busy. It's not good. I got to play video games. It keeps me sane. Yeah, if you pick your Switch up, you definitely need to play this game. And if you're like me, I was very skeptical on how how much I would like it and how much they changed. I didn't really know what to expect. You just see a video and you go in and play it. I played the first round and I think I made it in the top 10, and then I played again and made it in the top 5 and just kept working my way down. The next thing I know, I've been playing that. I played it for probably almost 2 hours the first time I fired it up. I wasn't even trying to play that long. I just couldn't quit. I was like, I got to get up to that number 1 spot. And it took me 2 or 3 days to finally win a match. But and man, there's just something super good about winning one of those matches. I don't know what it is, but I can't say if it's the same feeling that you get when you win a Tetris 99 match, because I haven't won one of those. Oh, dang. Tetris is not my game. So I don't even think I've cracked the top 10 in that game, but it's definitely Mario 35 is where my vote's at. I'd be really sad if they actually do completely remove it in March.
I know, dude. They got to keep it around. Everybody's having a good time. Why you got to kill the vibe, Nintendo? Come on.
And I have on here that I played Demon's Crest, but I actually didn't get to play Demon's Crest. I'm still working through Mario 64 on the 3D All-Stars collection. And I've kind of veered off course a little bit on that game. I know I mentioned last time that I was trying to play it star for star, each level. And then I got to the, what's the desert level called? I'm bad. I don't even know the names of the worlds. I got to the desert level, and I put a good, I don't know, I tried for probably an hour trying to get those red coins, the ones you have to fly. They're at the top of the 4 pillars. And every time I got down to where I had just the 1 or 2 left, and I would wipe out trying to get the altitude I needed with the wing cap, and you go into one of those sand pits and you're just toast. It just throws you out and you got to start all over again. So I decided that I will not finish the desert world, and I will move on to the next one. I think I'm only 4 stars away from beating the game. Yeah. That was the good thing about Mario 64 is you can skip around. You just have to have 70 stars to
Mario
unlock
64.
Bowser.
Okay. Mario 64, right. I didn't know what I thought you said, but okay. Never mind.
You might have been thinking Sunshine, because in that game there's no skipping around. You have to get so many shines from each place.
Yeah, not a lot in that one.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing, man.
Great.
What have you bought?
Good.
And played?
Well, didn't buy anything. And the only reason I played anything is because I had my brother over, my older brother, to come hang out in my retro Dan cave. Call it the Dan cave because that's my name. And we just hung out and played some old video games. First, some of them it's like the first time firing them up since they were new, right? Like Mario Kart Double Dash, I probably haven't played in well over 15 years. Because there is no other way to play Mario Kart Double Dash, so you got to have a GameCube. We popped that thing in, and I never realized how floaty that game is.
Yeah.
The turning is far less responsive than it is in what I'm used to these days, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is very snappy. So you got to plan your turns far in the distance to make anything work for you.
If you go back and try to play any of the, I mean, you pick one, and they all play just that slightly. You could tell the improvements were being made every time.
Right.
And that's where we've, got to with Mario Kart 8, because, I mean, obviously Super Nintendo is a totally different game altogether, how it played. But 64, I mean, if you try to go back and play that one now, there's just something about it that the steering feels really stiff a lot of times.
Right. Well, and I far prefer Diddy Kong Racing anyway, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah, we get in trouble for saying that sometimes. Yeah. A lot of Diddy Kong haters out there.
But one thing that I was really surprised at is how much I enjoyed the whole special item per character thing, 2 characters per cart. We played a couple of rounds of regular and 1 or 2 rounds of co-op.
Yeah.
And man, it's fun to play co-op Mario Kart. Holy crap. Why is that not a thing today? Jeez. God, I gotta whip that out and get my 5-year-old to ride with me and just shoot the trigger and hit. Because man, shoot, dude, we gotta do more of that. Then we played Ribbit King, which is not the last time you'll hear me talk about Ribbit King. Ribbit King is a very, very weird, highly obscure GameCube game where you play essentially golf, but mini golf kind of but also there's a million traps everywhere. and most of them give you points, which like you're trying to collect points. It's not like first one in the whole wins. You're just collecting points. So it's kind of like it's like a good mix of golf and Mario Party and like a little bit of like Mario Kart kind of, because you could like get items and stuff. It's Mario Kart Golf is what it is. Anyway, the characters are just ridiculous and super Japanese, like anime-y, like cartoony and weird, and like nothing makes any sense. Like your main character is this alien called Scooter, and your sidekick is a picnic basket, and the like referee is like this weird alien frog who's very flamboyant for some reason, and like your best friend is like a penguin robot who's frog, which okay. So your ball is a frog, and you like hit the frog, and the frog jumps around all randomly and gets you points, or doesn't get you points. There's really no skill involved. It's 100% random. Anyway, if I haven't sold you on it yet, then you know, I mean, you just need to look up some videos of this game. I have a let's play on my YouTube channel of me doofing around in that game because it is absolute insanity. And turns can go on forever because you have no control over where your frog goes. So your frog could just like hop around all over the place, and your turn lasts 10 minutes and you touch the controller once because that's just how the game goes. So it's chaos. And we laughed. I don't think I've ever laughed harder at any video game than I did at Ribbit King, because just the random craziness that happens in that game. Gosh. Okay. So that's the shortest explanation I can give you of what Ribbit King is. And that was fun. This is not the last time you'll hear me talk about it, because it's one of my favorite GameCube games.
I still haven't played this game.
No. Yeah. Do you have
I don't have a copy of Ribbit King.
You probably wouldn't own it. No. Yeah. It's pretty expensive because it did not sell well, and all the games that did not sell well on GameCube now are like I think it's $150 now for the game. So emulate. Anyway, we also played Wii Sports, which probably haven't played Wii Sports. I probably played it a little bit more recently. Maybe like in the last 5 years I played it. So the thing about Wii Sports is like I'm just still baffled at how easy it is to just pick it up and be like, oh, I'm playing tennis now. And I like know how to do everything, or bowling or baseball. Like you just kind of get it as soon as you pick up the controller, which is like Nintendo's whole thing with the Wii was Blue Ocean. Just get everybody involved. You know, You could give the controller to grandma and she can play tennis. It is still baffling to me how well they pulled that off. That's all I'll say about Wii Sports. And then finally, save the best for last. We played one of my favorite NES games of all time, and it's a Konami joint, and it's called Jackal. Are you familiar with Jackal?
I think so. And isn't this on Switch Online?
No,
it's not. Okay,
because it's Konami. Jackal is a 2-player co-op top-down Jeep shooting game. So, excuse me, you're both in Jeeps.
Yeah.
And you can either shoot up, your machine gun always goes up, and your grenade or rocket goes whatever direction you're facing. So, yeah, so it's top down. It is probably one of the better co-op experiences you can have on an original Nintendo. So if you have like a ROM of like a million NES games or whatever, go check it out. Go play 2-player with somebody and have a great time. Because it is great. The music is killer. It's so good. Just, I love that game. It's short too. It's pretty easy to get through. So you can beat it with somebody in about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I think my cousin had this game.
It's so good. Man, we probably spend most of our time on Jackal, honestly.
Sounds like it's awesome.
So that's all me. That's what I've been playing. Highly recommend it. One of my lesser known lesser known favorites. That is that. And that is also pretty much our show today. A little bit of a short one, but you know what? No news is good news for you, because that means you have to listen to me less. John, did you have anything else you wanted to say or talk about? Or did you think of any other Dreamcast games that you'd want to include on a Dreamcast Mini?
Maybe one of the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games. They were pretty prevalent on Dreamcast. I think one or two.
Yeah, dude. Probably two. Two was the
two
was the
two
best.
is the one that was on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Definitely
Maybe
got
one
to
and two.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Sure. You know what? Since we're dreaming big, go for it. Both of them. Whoo-weesh, man. I feel good. I feel good about this episode. You know, we didn't have a lot of news, but you and I really got into it this episode.
Yeah.
We got deep. We dug deep. You know? So I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks you guys for listening to Retro Logic. If you like what you hear, you can follow me at the Blockfort at Blockfort Gaming on Twitter. And John, where are you on Twitter?
So I'm at SuperDatFest on Twitter, and also we don't have any community questions. And if you want to send us some questions, you can send them to retrologicgc@gmail.com. That's something we haven't brought up yet.
Do that. We haven't done that. You can send it. You can also send to either of us on Twitter, and we will answer that and come to your rescue with your retro-related questions. So peace out, everyone. We will see y'all next weeko.
See you guys.